Hello, my name is TJ Lee. I am the writer and creator of Dusklight Radio, and if you are seeing this or hearing this, that means the algorithm is continuing to favor my 30 in 30 experiment, where I'm taking 30 straight days of 30 uploads to see if it will jumpstart my channel. I hope you enjoy your time here. Dusklight Radio is a channel that is focused on high-quality horror audio dramatic content. That means dynamic voice acting, original sound design, unique music, and good voice acting, and of course, at the centerpiece of it all, good horror stories crafted by myself and by some of my colleagues. We also have a podcast called The Nightmare Detectives, which is set in the popular Sturgeon universe. If you've been on Dark Somnium's channel, or Romnex, or pretty much any of the big YouTube channels that do horror, you'll have heard of something from the Sturgeon universe that I wrote. This channel is hosted by Everett Blackwell, who is a half-dead host. He's got a lovely southern drawl, and I'm sure he'll look forward to meeting you all. But the purpose of this is to let you all know that we're doing this every single day, except Christmas, until January 15th, at which point we'll be switching to a 3-day-a-week schedule. That's Mondays for SCP videos, Wednesdays for regular horror, and Fridays for something a little bit special, with one feature-length entry every single month. I really hope you enjoy your time here. If you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing, drop a comment, let me know the algorithm found you. It's been overwhelming so far. Consider signing up to the Patreon if you want to support me, and there's a Discord below as well. Alright, I think I've waffled on enough for 90 seconds. I really hope you enjoy this week's servings of horror goodness.
Do you think animals believe in their own gods? I stared at those words on my computer screen until they blurred. It was past midnight. The question sat there in my inbox like something alive, waiting.
I know this may sound crazy, but I've witnessed it firsthand. I've lost someone to this event, this phenomenon. Please respond. I can't sleep. I can't make sense of this. I need help. Please help. I'm just a sheep farmer, and I need somebody to help me understand. Please reply. Please, Dr. Grant. Help me. Charlie Saunders.
My hand hovered over the keyboard. Animals with their own gods. My first instinct was to delete it. Some teenager's creative writing exercise, maybe. A prank. But then I saw the name again. Charlie Saunders. I knew Charlie. I'd been to his farm twice before. I consulted on his flock's behavior. He was the kind of man who measured his words carefully, who didn't speak unless he had something worth saying. The kind of man who would never send an email like this, unless something had broken him. I wrote back immediately, told him to come to my office in the morning. He responded within the hour. Just 3 words. I'll be there. I'm an ethologist. I study animal behavior, how they think, how they feel, what drives them. It's all chemicals and instinct, but evolution and adaptation. There's no room for gods in that equation. No room for the supernatural. At least, that's what I told myself. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that question burning behind my eyelids. Do animals believe in their own gods? By the time dawn broke, I'd convinced myself it was nothing. Stress, grief, maybe. Charlie had probably lost a family member and wasn't processing it well. I'd talk him through it, recommend a therapist, and that would be that. I was wrong. Charlie was already waiting when I arrived at my office. I almost didn't recognize him. The man I'd met before had been robust, energetic, someone who smiled easily and often. The thing slouched against my office door barely resembled him. His beard was unkempt, more white than I remembered. His eyes were sunken deep into purple-black hollows. The whites shot through with burst capillaries. He looked like he'd aged 10 years in the few months since I'd seen him, like something had reached inside him and scooped out everything vital.
Dr. Grant,
he said. His voice was a rasp, like he'd been screaming.
Good morning.
Charlie. I tried to keep my voice steady as I unlocked the door. How long have you been waiting? He didn't answer, just shuffled inside when I opened the door, moving like his bones hurt. I flicked on the lights. The fluorescent bulbs hummed and flickered before catching, and started the coffee maker. The familiar ritual did nothing to calm the crawling sensation up my spine. Something was very, very wrong.
The university looks good.
Charlie mumbled, staring at nothing. I poured him coffee with shaking hands. Black, right? A nod. Barely. I sat across from him and forced myself to look, really look, at what he'd become. His hands trembled around the cup. There were dirt stains under his fingernails, and his eyes. God, his eyes were the worst part. They had the hollow, haunted quality of someone who'd seen something they could never unsee. Charlie, what happened? His fist slammed into my desk so hard the coffee jumped in our cups. I jerked back, heart hammering.
Don't.
His voice cracked like breaking glass.
Don't interrupt me. Please, Dr. Grant. I've told this story to everyone. The police thought I was insane. The reporters laughed. The priest at St. Michael's told me I was blasphemous. The veterinarians...
He choked on something between a laugh and a sob.
The veterinarians said it was impossible.
Tears carved tracks down his weathered face.
You're the last person I can tell. The last one who might listen.
His eyes locked onto mine, desperate and pleading and terrified.
So I'm begging you, Dr. Grant, don't say a word. Don't tell me I'm crazy. Don't tell me what I saw wasn't real.
He leaned forward, and I got the smell of unwashed clothes, of earth, of something else. Something rotten and organic that made my stomach turn.
Just listen,
he whispered.
Listen to what the sheep did.
The fluorescent lights flickered again.
A month ago,
Charlie began, his voice hollow.
I went to a livestock auction. Needed more sheep for the farm.
He wrapped both hands around the coffee cup like it was the only solid thing left in the world.
I had enough money to buy a few, maybe 5 or 6 at market price. But then I saw this man.
Charlie's eyes went distant, seeing something I couldn't.
He looked almost as miserable as I do now. Hollow. Like something had already eaten him from the inside out. He had a small flock, 12 sheep. And the price...
Charlie laughed, but there was no humor in it.
The price was criminal. He was practically giving them away. I should have known. I should have known something was wrong when I saw how happy he looked. No, not happy. Relieved. Like he just shrugged off a curse.
His hands tightened on the cup until his knuckles went white.
But I didn't think. I just saw the deal. The sheep looked healthy enough. So I loaded them into my trailer and drove home, thinking I'd hit the jackpot.
Charlie's voice cracked.
Lauren was waiting when I pulled up. My wife. She was surprised I was back so early. Goodness, Chuck, she said. How much did that all cost? I told her it was a blessing, that I'd only spent half what I'd budgeted. She kissed me, told me to keep them separate from the main flock until they all got used to each other. She didn't want any fighting.
He stopped, stared into his coffee like he could see her face in it. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Outside my office, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Another professor arriving early. Normal sounds, normal world. But sitting across from me was something that didn't belong to that world anymore.
I unloaded the sheep. They looked fine. All except one. He was the biggest of the lot. And he was different. The way he stood. It was like he was at attention, alert. The others meandered like sheep do, but not him. He walked with purpose, like he knew exactly where he was going and what he was doing. And the rest followed him, watched him. They didn't act like normal sheep, but I figured it was just the stress of a new environment, new home. They'd settle in.
He looked up at me, and I saw something break behind his eyes.
I was wrong.
The coffee maker gurgled behind me, the sound obscenely loud in the silence.
At first, everything seemed fine. Then a week passed, and it started. I woke up one night to a sound I'd never heard before. It wasn't a normal bleat, it was harmonizing, like a hymn. Multiple voices finding the same note, the same rhythm.
My skin prickled.
I thought it was coyotes at first, or maybe someone stealing from the pens, so I grabbed my shotgun and my boots and I went out the back door.
Charlie's eyes were unfocused now, lost in the memory.
My regular sheep are fine, sleeping, grazing, acting normal, but the new ones...
He stopped. His jaw worked like he was chewing on words too terrible to speak.
They were gathered in a circle, heads bowed, eyes closed, and that sound, it was coming from him, the leader. He was making that hymn, and the others, they were worshiping.
The word hung in the air between us, like something physical.
I walked closer, and he stopped, just stopped mid-note, and stared at me. Dr. Grant, I know how this sounds. I know sheep don't have expressions like people do. But I'm telling you, I felt what he felt. Rage. Pure, cold rage. Like I'd interrupted something sacred. Like I'd walked into a church and spit on the altar.
He wiped his face with a trembling hand.
It scared me. It really scared me. But then my brain kicked back in and I yelled at them to scatter. They didn't move at first, just kept that circle, kept their heads down. Then the leader bleated, just once, and they broke apart. But he kept staring at me. That anger, it was human. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe the previous owner had trained them somehow. Maybe it was some kind of behavioral quirk. I didn't know. But it was wrong. Everything about it was wrong.
He looked up at me, and I saw the tears threatening to spill over.
Then,
he said, his voice dropping to a growl.
That's when the real trouble started.
He stared down at my desk, unable to meet my eyes.
Every few nights I'd hear it again. That bleeding song. And it wasn't just the one sheep anymore. Others were joining in. Some of my sheep from my original flock. I'd catch them the same way every time, gathered around him, heads down, eyes closed. Sometimes they all sang together. Other nights they'd move in patterns, formations, a dance almost. Lauren saw it too. We were both terrified, but we didn't know what to do. Who do you call? What do you even say?
His hands were shaking so badly now that coffee sloshed over the rim of his cup.
After 3 weeks of this, I dug out the paperwork from the auction, found the seller's number and called it. It was disconnected. Didn't exist. So I tried looking up the man's name, his address, anything.
Charlie looked up at me, his face a mask of despair.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. It was like he never existed at all. Like he'd sold me those sheep and then vanished off the face of the earth.
The fluorescent lights flickered again.
Or maybe
Charlie whispered.
He was just running from the same thing I should have run from. One day, I went out to the grazing fields. That's when I saw it.
He stared at his hands like they belonged to someone else.
There was an impression in the ground. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks, that my brain was conjuring patterns from nothing, but no. It was a perfect circle. And inside, symbols. Symbols I'd never seen before. Not in any book, not in any language I knew.
The office felt smaller, suddenly. Colder.
Something had changed. The whole farm had this weight to it, like the air itself was pressing down, like something vast and terrible was unfolding right beneath my feet, and I was too small, too stupid to understand it.
He stopped, drew in a shuddering breath, tried to gather the pieces of himself that were falling apart. I realized I hadn't touched my coffee. The cup had gone cold in my hands. Everything Charlie was saying sounded impossible, fantastical, like some fever dream or elaborate hoax, but the man across from me wasn't lying. Whatever he'd seen, whatever he believed he'd seen, had destroyed him. Charlie paused, his fingers tracing the rim of his coffee cup.
I should have paid more attention to Lauren. Should have seen the signs. But I was so focused on those damned sheep, I didn't know what was happening to my wife.
He drew a shuddering breath.
It started about a week after I brought them home. Lauren complained of headaches, said they came on suddenly, like something was pressing against the inside of her skull. She'd never had migraines before. I told her to see a doctor, but she kept putting it off. Said they always passed eventually.
Charlie's eyes went distant.
Then I started finding her at the bedroom window. Middle of the night, just staring out at the fields, at the pens. The first time, I asked her what she was doing. She didn't answer at first, just kept staring. When I touched her shoulder, she turned to me with this dreamy expression and said, "The singing is so beautiful, Chuck."
His hands trembled.
I hadn't heard anything. Told her she must have been dreaming. She just smiled, this empty, far-away smile, and came back to bed. But it kept happening. 3-4 times a week, always at the window, always listening to something I couldn't hear.
He leaned forward.
She started humming, these strange, droning notes, nothing I recognized. She'd do it while cooking, while folding laundry. When I pointed it out, she'd look confused, like she didn't even know she was doing it. The headaches got worse too. She'd stop mid-sentence sometimes, freeze up, stare at nothing. Then she'd blink and come back, but she'd have tears on her face, or she'd be smiling. She could never remember what she'd seen.
Charlie's jaw clenched.
One morning, I found her outside in her nightgown, barefoot in the wet grass. She was standing at the fence, and that leader, that thing, was on the other side. Just the two of them, staring at each other. And she was humming that melody again. I called out to her. She turned, and her eyes were empty, glassy, like she was looking through me at something else. But then she blinked, and suddenly she was confused, frightened. "Chuck," she said, "what am I doing out here?" She didn't remember walking outside. Didn't remember any of it.
He pressed his palms against his eyes.
It went on like this for 2 weeks. The humming, the staring, the headaches. She'd black out sometimes, just collapse and clutch her head, saying something was trying to push its way inside her mind, trying to show her something.
Charlie looked up at me, his face twisted with anguish.
Then, 3 days ago, she had a moment of clarity. A real moment. I came home from checking the fences and found her in the kitchen, crying, actually sobbing. She grabbed my arms and looked at me, really looked at me. And I saw my Lauren again. The real her. Chuck. Something's wrong with me, she said. I'm losing time. I'm hearing things. And this morning I woke up and found this. She showed me her hands. There was dirt caked under her fingernails. Fresh dirt. I don't remember going outside. I don't remember digging. But I can feel Chuck. I can feel something calling me. And I'm scared. I'm so scared because part of me wants to answer.
Tears welled in Charlie's eyes.
She was terrified. Terrified of herself. Of what she was becoming. She begged me to get rid of those sheep. Said we had to do it immediately. That very day. But
He choked on the words.
I told her we'd do it tomorrow. That I needed to prepare, to figure out where to take them. I thought we had time. I thought one more night wouldn't matter.
He slammed his fist on the desk.
Oh, but they knew. Those things knew she was breaking free. Knew she was fighting whatever hold they had on her. So they didn't wait. They couldn't risk losing her. That night, the last night, Lauren seemed better. Calmer. She made dinner, kissed me goodnight, and told me she loved me. Said tomorrow everything would be okay. We went to bed early. Both of us were exhausted. Both of us believing we'd wake up and fix everything.
He looked at me with eyes full of horror.
But when I woke to that song, she was already gone. Already theirs. Whatever small part of her had fought back that afternoon, it didn't matter anymore. They'd taken her completely. And I let that happen. I gave them one more night.
Fresh tears welled in Charlie's eyes.
Then came the night Lauren died.
The words hit like a punch to the chest. Charlie, I'm so... His hand shot up, cutting me off. His face twisted with something beyond grief. Something raw and primal.
That night, Lauren and I talked. Really talked. We'd both had enough. The farm felt wrong. Corrupted. We decided we were getting rid of those sheep the next morning. We'd load them up, drive them out to the middle of nowhere, and let nature take its course. I know how that sounds, I know, but Grant, you have to understand the horror of that song. I still hear it. When I sleep, when I'm awake, it never stops. It's maddening.
His expression shifted from grief to something far worse. The hollow-eyed stare of a man teetering on the edge of sanity.
We went to bed early that night. Thought tomorrow everything would be fine. We'd be free. We could have our normal life back.
He laughed. A broken, ugly sound.
But we weren't free. We were never going to be free.
Charlie's breathing quickened, his chest heaving.
I woke up to that song again. But this time it was louder. More aggressive. Like something vast and powerful was clawing its way into our world. And Lauren...
I gripped the armrests on my chair.
Lauren was gone. I threw on my boots, grabbed my rifle, and ran outside. Every single sheep, every single one was arranged in a circle. No, not one circle. 3 rings. Staggered, concentric. And in the center...
He couldn't continue. His whole body shook.
Lauren was there, standing with the leader. Her face... God. Her face was blank. Empty. Like she wasn't even there anymore. I screamed her name. Nothing. No response. She just stood there like a sleepwalker.
Charlie's fists clenched.
I'd had enough. I raised my rifle and aimed at that thing, that leader, that devil that had brought this curse into my home. And I pulled the trigger.
The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead.
The bullet hit him. I know it hit him. I saw him flinch, but there was no blood, no cry of pain, no wound. It was like I'd thrown a pebble at him, like he was made of something that couldn't be hurt by anything in this world.
Charlie looked up at me, and I saw hell reflected in his eyes.
Then Lauren lay down in the center of the circle.
His voice was barely human now. A tortured rasp.
And they started stomping on her.
I felt my stomach drop.
All of them. The leader first, then the others closed in. They trampled her with the force of draft horses. Her blood...
He choked.
Her blood sprayed up into the air, covered them, and they kept singing, kept dancing. Every sheep had to touch her, had to be anointed in her blood, her guts, her...
He couldn't finish.
I just watched. My mind screamed at me to run, to stop them, to do something, but my body wouldn't move. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. It felt like hours watching my wife trampled to death while they sang their hymn.
Charlie's tears fell freely now, dripping onto my desk.
When they finally stopped, they arranged themselves in a semicircle, the leader in the very center. He looked up, not at me, but at the sky, and began to sing again. The others joined. The sound, it made my head split, my vision blurred. But I saw it. God help me, I saw it.
So what? I whispered. Charlie's eyes went hollow, staring through me at something only he could see.
At first I thought it was a cloud, a massive darkness descending from above. But clouds don't move like that, don't breathe like that. It was massive, so vast I couldn't see where it ended. Just this endless black shape covered in thousands of eyes. No, not eyes. Apertures, openings, all of them fixed downward, all of them watching. And there was a sound coming from it. Not words, not music, something that existed before language, before thought. A sound that made my bones vibrate, made my teeth ache, and made my heart skip beats.
He gripped the edge of my desk until his knuckles went white.
But it wasn't just a creature, Grant. It was a presence, a deity. I could feel its attention like a weight, like gravity, like the hand of creation itself pressing down on me, on Lauren, on the blood-soaked earth. And in that moment, that terrible, crystallizing moment, I understood.
Tears streamed down his face.
I understood why ancient peoples built altars, why they dragged victims to mountaintops and temples, why they offered up their children and their livestock and their enemies, not out of love, not out of devotion, out of terror, out of the desperate animal hope that if they fed it enough, if they gave it what it wanted, it might pass over them, might leave them alone for one more season, one more year.
Charlie looked at me with eyes that had seen too much.
We call them myths. Those old gods, those hungry gods. We think we've evolved past them, that they've buried them under science and reason and progress. But they never left, Grant. They've been here all along, waiting. And the animals never forgot. They've been worshipping them since the beginning, since before we even stood upright. And that night, I watched my wife become their sacrament. I passed out, and when I awoke to the rising sun, all the sheep were gone. Every single one. The only thing left was...
He couldn't see it.
Lauren's body.
Charlie began unbuttoning his shirt with trembling fingers. He pulled the fabric aside to reveal his chest. There, burned into his skin, was a symbol. A perfect circle surrounded by intricate runes, characters that looked ancient and alien and wrong.
I found it the next morning.
He touched the symbol on his chest, wincing as if it still burned.
It wasn't there before. I didn't carve it. Didn't brand myself. I just woke up and it was in me. Part of me.
His voice grew quieter, more distant.
At first I thought I could live with it. Thought I could bury Lauren, sell the farm, move away and forget. But the dreams started that very night.
Charlie's eyes glazed over, seeing something I couldn't.
I see him. The leader. Every time I close my eyes, he's there, standing in fields that stretch forever. And he's not alone anymore, Grant. There are thousands of them now, flocks upon flocks, all standing at attention, all watching me, all waiting. And behind them, behind all of them, I see it. That black mass, that thing they worship. But in my dreams, I can see it clearly. I can see its shape, its purpose. And it's so much worse than what I saw that night. So much bigger.
Charlie's breathing quickened, becoming shallow and rapid.
The symbol burns when I dream. Burns like fire, like acid. And I hear voices. Not words, but meanings pushed directly into my mind. They're teaching me things. Showing me things. The rituals. The hymns. The hunger.
He looked up at me, and I saw something had changed in his eyes. Something had broken.
I tried to cut it out, Grant. Took a knife to my own chest, but the blade wouldn't go deep enough. Wouldn't cut. It's like the symbol protects itself. Like it wants to stay in me.
His voice cracked, climbing in pitch.
I went back to the farm 3 days ago. I don't know why. Something pulled me back. And I found them, Grant. I found the sheep. Not mine. New ones. Different flock. Different owner. But they were already there. Already gathering in circles. Already learning the songs.
Charlie grabbed my wrist, his grip painfully tight.
It's spreading. It doesn't end with one flock. It moves, it infects, it teaches, and every night I dream I see more farms, more fields, more flocks standing at attention ready to call down their god.
Sweat beaded on his forehead. His pupils were dilated, unfocused.
Last night I dreamed I was one of them. I was standing in the circle, head bowed, and I could feel it, Grant. I could feel the ecstasy of worship, the joy of surrender. And part of me, God forgive me, part of me wanted to stay there, wanted to bow down and sing that hymn forever.
His voice rose, panic bleeding through.
I'm losing myself. Piece by piece, I'm becoming something else. Something that understands them, that sympathizes with them. The symbol's changing me, rewriting me from the inside out.
Charlie stood abruptly, his chair clattering backwards. He paced like a caged animal.
I can hear it now. Even awake, that humming. It's in my head. It's in my bones. And every heartbeat, it won't stop. It won't stop.
He clawed at his ears, his chest, leaving red marks.
I tried to pray. Went to 3 different churches, but every time I kneel, every time I try to say the words, I feel it watching, laughing. My prayers turn to ash in my mouth because I know, I know there's something older listening, Grant. Something that doesn't care about mercy or salvation or redemption.
His voice cracked into something between a laugh and a sob.
I'm not sleeping anymore. Can't sleep. Because every time I close my eyes, I'm back in that field. Back in that circle. And Lauren is there, Grant. She's there, but she's not dead. She's standing with them. Standing and singing. And she looks happy.
Charlie spun to face me, tears streaming down his face.
Is she in heaven, Grant? Or is she with them now? Is her soul trapped in that thing's belly, singing hymns for eternity? Tell me! Tell me!
He slammed both fists on my desk, sending coffee cups flying.
I can't make it stop! The burning, the dreams, the knowing! It's teaching me their language, their rituals, their purpose! And that's the worst part! The absolute worst part! It's starting to make sense!
His voice rose to a desperate wail.
Oh, Grant! I understand them now! I understand why they worship. I understand what they're building. Every flock is a congregation. Every farm is a temple. And they're all working together to bring something through. Something vast and hungry and patient.
Charlie grabbed my shoulders, shaking me.
It's not just sheep, Grant. What if it's all of them? What if every animal, every bird, every insect, every creature we've dismissed as mindless? What if they're all worshipping? What if we're surrounded by tiny churches, by millions of altars we can't see? All calling to gods we never knew existed!
His grip tightened painfully.
And what if we're next? What if the symbol marks me as the first? What if I'm supposed to teach others? What if that's my purpose now? To spread this to people?
I tried to pull away, but his strength was manic, inhuman.
I won't do it! I won't! I'd rather die than become their prophet! I'd rather...
He stopped suddenly. His eyes went wide, pupils dilated until they were almost entirely black.
Oh God. Oh God, it's here. It's in the room with us. Don't you see it?
He screamed, pointing at the empty corner of my office.
It's right there! All those eyes! All those mouths! It's been watching the whole time! It's been listening!
He released me and staggered backward, clawing at the symbol on his chest.
It won't let me go! It won't let me die! I'm its witness, its prophet! It wants me to spread the word! It wants me to teach others to see, to hear, to worship!
Charlie collapsed to his knees, screaming, the sound of pure anguish and terror that seems to come from somewhere deeper than his lungs. It was the sound of a soul being torn apart.
Grant, help me! Help me cut it out! Cut me open and rip it out before it takes everything! Before I become...
His body convulsed. Blood began trickling from his nose. I lunged for the phone, my hands shaking so badly I could barely dial. The paramedics arrived within minutes, but Charlie was barely conscious by then. He thrashed weakly as they loaded him onto the stretcher, his lips moving soundlessly. As they wheeled him past me, I leaned in and heard him whisper,
"It's already too late. The mark is spreading. You touched me. You listened. Now you'll dream too."
Then his eyes rolled back and he went still. The police took my statement. I told them about his wife's death, his grief, his obvious mental breakdown. I didn't mention the sheep or the rituals or the symbol. Who would believe me? That afternoon, Detective Morrison called.
Dr. Grant, this is about Charlie Saunders. I'm sorry to inform you that he passed away at County General about an hour ago.
My blood ran cold. What happened?
Massive cerebral aneurysm. Doctors said it was like something burst inside his brain. Multiple vessels all at once. They never seen anything like it.
A pause.
There's something else. Something strange.
What? I said in shock.
When they were preparing the body, they found burns. Fresh burns all over his torso, his arms, his legs. Symbols, Dr. Grant. Dozens of them. Like someone had branded him repeatedly. but there's no sign of external trauma. It's like they burned from the inside out.
The phone nearly slipped from my hand.
The coroner wants to list it as unexplained, but between you and me,
Morrison's voice dropped.
I've been a cop for 20 years. I've seen drug overdoses, psychotic breaks, every kind of mental breakdown. But the look on that man's face when he died...
What about it?
He wasn't afraid anymore, Dr. Grant. He looked relieved. Like dying was the only way to escape something worse.
Months passed. Charlie's story haunted me. It shouldn't have. It was madness, trauma-induced delusion. Sheep don't have religion. They don't perform rituals. They don't summon gods. But I couldn't forget the symbol burned into his chest. The terror in his eyes. The way he'd screamed. Eventually, I moved to Texas. New job, new start. I tried to bury what Charlie had told me beneath work and routine. Then, I got a call from a rancher outside Austin. Said he needed help with his flock. Behavioral issues. What kind of issues? I asked. There was a long pause on the other end of the line.
Well, hell, Doc. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but my sheep, they're singing and dancing at night.
The phone nearly slipped from my hand. What did you say?
I know how it sounds, but I swear, they gather in circles and make this sound. Like a hymn or something. And they move in patterns, like they're performing some kind of...
He trailed off. Some kind of what? My voice was barely steady.
Some kind of a ceremony.
I closed my eyes and saw Charlie's face. Heard his screams. I'll be there tomorrow, I said. I hung up the phone and sat in the silence of my office for a long time. I'm a scientist. I've spent my entire career explaining animal behavior through biology, through evolution, through reasoning. Neurotransmitters and instinct, stimulus and response. Everything had a rational explanation. Everything followed observable laws. But what if we've been wrong? What if faith isn't just a human invention? Some evolutionary advantage that helped us cooperate, that gave us comfort in the face of death? What if animals have always known something we've forgotten? Something we've spent centuries trying to bury under logic and empiricism and the desperate belief that we're alone in this universe? What if there are powers in this world that demand worship, that demand sacrifice? I opened my laptop and pulled up Charlie's last email. Read those words again. Do you think animals believe in their own gods? My hands were shaking. Because if sheep can have gods, gods real enough to answer their prayers, gods hungry enough to manifest in our world, then what else is out there? What other creatures are kneeling before altars we can't see? What other rituals are being performed in the dark corners of the world while we sleep in our beds, believing we're the only ones with souls? That's the question that terrified me most, the one that kept me awake for the rest of the night. What do those gods want with us? I packed my equipment the next morning, loaded my truck with cameras and recording devices, told myself I was going to document everything, to find the rational explanation, to prove that Charlie had simply witnessed some bizarre behavioral anomaly. But as I pulled onto the highway, heading toward that ranch outside Austin, I felt it. That same heaviness Charlie had described. That weight pressing down, like the air itself knew something I didn't. like something vast and terrible was watching, waiting. And I understood, with the cold certainty of a man walking toward his own damnation, that I wasn't going to find answers in Texas. I was going to find the same thing Charlie found. The same thing that's been there all along, just beyond the edge of our understanding. Hungry gods, as if they were waiting for someone new to witness them.
Most heartfelt greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I eagerly welcome you to Sturgeon's most premier station, Dusklight Radio, hosted by yours truly, the effervescent, ethereal, and immersive Everett J. Blackwell. This horrifying and shocking tale of sheep and gods and devilry was written by Rugadoom. You can find more of Rugadoom's work linked below. Joining me on this production was Vidith as the narrator and We Try Horror as the caller. Please show both channels some love and check them out using the collaboration feature we have utilized for this episode. Now, normally I'd go into my usual Blackwell spiel here, however, we're at the end of the video. If you've stuck around long enough, this is a sample of what our usual introductions to Dusklight transmissions are like. A link to one of our normal lengthy transmission videos is below. However, for the next 30 days as of December 15th, you will not be getting those introductions unless it is a special Sturgeon video, such as the next chapter in our ongoing series coming out before the new year. You see, we want to test out the algorithm to see how well YouTube responds to a regular series of posts. So we decided between myself and the wonderful Vidith to do a 30 in 30 challenge. 30 days, 30 videos, no days off, except for Christmas, which will make up on the schedule. At the end of that time, we'll look at our metrics, see how well it's responded, if any new listeners have come to the station, and we can then make an informed decision about how we want to progress. I can tell you right now, however, that as of Season 6, in 2026 for Dusklight Radio, we will be going to 3 videos a week, an SCP video on Mondays, and normal, NoSleep or creepypasta story on Wednesdays, and on Fridays we'll be doing something special. Every single month we'll be doing a compilation of our best stories from the month, and you'll also get a special feature-length Sturgeon or feature-length creepypasta story with immersive sound design, SFX, and voice acting. Very few things are going to be changing except the quality of our production. With that, I bring you to our outros, which are very important because this is the time where we thank all of our patrons for making this possible. If you want to sign up, it's as little as $1 a month and you get exclusive content, early access videos and stories, updates, and more. You can even suggest videos and stories for me to cover on the channel. But times are tough and we will always be grateful for your support no matter what form it comes in. Financial, spiritual, corporeal, maniacal, whatever you want. Either way, it really helps us out. And consider joining the Discord. We have a wonderful community at the listening station and we'd love to have you there. Dusklight gives thanks to, first, our Purple Crayon Eaters, Echo Kane, Gail Allstott, Alex, Mike, Candyman Gloving, Ashabel, Amara, Fi, Max, and Feeny Von Kama. Our janitors, Allie, Shane Lewis, Dux, Joy Flint Healy, Sabine Eclipse, Death 31, Scott, Heather Cayley, Adrian R., Amy, Arkham Cookie, and Alex Nunez. Our nightmare detectives, Deliria, Melanie Schaefer, and Fox Clifford. Our void walkers, Josh Woods and Professor Creepypasta. And of course, our Blackwell family. Great Uncle Ven Blackwell, who really seems to be hanging around the furnishings lately. I could swear that I've seen him trying to reanimate something from in the wallpaper. He keeps stroking it softly and saying, "Hush, little one, soon you could be free." Ethan Blackwell, the master of repo and infuriating the outer guards alongside his BFF, Jimmy. Jackal Blackwell, the scourge of gas station sushi outlets. Clue Blackwell, the twisting, shambling horror. Tabitha Blackwell, wearing a muscle tee with Kaio's face as a skull she smashed, declaring herself the Spine Queen. And of course, Papa Kaio Blackwell, preparing his greatest weapon, the Spine Lord, and his many, many legions of bone fragments. We love and fear you, Papa, and we thank you humbly for your patronage and look to see you bright and early for Dusklight orientation. Purple crayons and existential dread will be provided. And one last time, listeners, close your eyes and breathe with me. Remember, no matter how bad things are, how cruel people can be, and how heavy your shoulders may feel with the weight of the world bearing down on them, Dusklight will always be here to lift the load and provide you with some respite. Drink some hot cocoa with chocolate sprinkles and fat marshmallows. Have some s'mores. Watch a video about liminal spaces, and sleep on the cool side of the pillow with the window open and the stars twinkling down on you. Start and end each day with kindness in your heart. You matter, you are loved, and every day is another chance. I'll see you again when the sun sets and dusk enters the station.